everybody, it's Dave from Clean Pro Supply. I have one of my customers was asking me today about a wand that he's having issues with, and we were chatting back and forth trying to figure out the issue, and I felt like this would make a good topic for educational purposes for both for him and also for anybody else who may be having the same issue either now or down the road. So basically the question at hand is, okay, I have no water flow at the end of my wand or my upholstery tool or stair tool or whatever it is. So if you're not getting water out of your jets and your machine is on and running and the pump is on, you know, the water flow is actually turned on, I'm going to basically go through some of the basics to figure out exactly where there may be a clog or a failure, essentially what needs to be repaired or cleaned to get rid of that blockage. So to show you with an actual wand here, this is my cleaning van. This is the wand that I use on my van. It's a sapphire titanium wand, 4-jet. So the very first thing that I would personally suggest looking at is if there's no water at the actual wand itself, you know, you're on a job and all of a sudden the water stops. You know, why is it not spraying? First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to check right here to see if my quick connect, my female, dislodged or, you know, popped off or just came off a little bit. Of course, do that on all your lines. So check all these lines. You know, there's one here, there's one here. Basically go back from your wand all the, you know, in the job, from your wand all the way back to your van, and anywhere that you have a connection with a male and a female quick connect, just make sure they're tight. This is what it should look like if it's tight. If it's popped just a little bit like that, it's not tight. It's got to be like this. So that's the first thing. As long as everything is attached and this is fully seated, you know, that's the very basic fundamental. After that, next I would grab another tool, maybe grab your stair tool or an upholstery tool and attach that to your lead line and give that a test. And if you are getting water from another tool, then the issue is either with the actual quick connect here or the quick connect here or something along the line of this actual tool. If you're not getting water through another tool, then of course your issue is somewhere in your line, again, either from this quick connect or back towards your machine. And that'll give you a starting point to see, okay, where do I need to diagnose? Do I need to check my tool? Do I need to check my line? Or do I need to check my machine? If you are not getting water here and you know all your lines are connected, then the next thing I would do is I would take my tool or maybe an upholstery tool, because there's usually a flex line right on it, and then I'd come around, connect that directly to my machine. I would unplug right from the machine here. I'd plug my tool. This is just like an upholstery tool, or I'm sorry, a stair tool. Just plug that right in directly, turn the pressure on, pull the trigger, and see if you get water. Again, that's going to tell you if the issue is either with the line itself or the machine, and that'll kind of give you an idea of where to go. From there, so say you are getting water from your machine, you are getting water from, you know, through your lines, but you're not sure about the wand. So okay, we have water coming out of here. The starting point, I would take off the male quick connect right off of the filter here, and then I would insert that into the hose, open the ball valve, and see if you get water. Water should flow directly out of that. If it does not, then you have a bad quick connect, either this one, you know, the male or the female or the male. If you do get water, the next thing I would do is check the filter. Unscrew these two pieces here. Inside there's a little screen filter. Make sure that's clean. If it's not, clean it and put it back in. Also make sure that if you're taking all your stuff apart, that the filter is assembled in this direction, not the opposite way, because it could act as a check valve. As long as that's clean, then, you know, check your valve here. What you could do is you could take this line off right here, turn on your water, pull your trigger right here, and then you should get water coming out of your valve. If you're not getting water out of your valve, but you are getting water out of your quick connect, then of course your issue is somewhere in here, whether it's the filter, maybe something clogged up in here, or a bad valve, clogged valve, something. If you're not getting water out of here, then I would pull the cap off your valve. Maybe there's something stuck up inside the stem, or maybe it's the actual O-ring or whatever. You can repair that. We do sell rebuild kits for that. If everything looks good in there and you're still not getting water out of here, then I would probably just replace the valve. Or if you want, you could even take this off and just make sure you got water flowing through this entire piece. If you are getting water out of here, but you're still not getting it out of the head of the wand, then just keep moving down the line. You know, put this back together, so all this is put back together. Come down your line, go to your next connection. Take this off, try the same thing. If you get water, great. If you do not, maybe the line is clogged somewhere with something. That's probably not the case, but it is possible. If you're still not getting water out of your jets, then, or I'm sorry, if you are getting water out of your hose, then reconnect that and just move further down the line. So next you have these connections. Now this is a solid line on this wand, but some have flex lines. So you can either take this apart on both sides or one side, or if you want, you can even check your valve, or I'm sorry, your spray jets here. You know, take one out, take two out, whatever you want to do. Because if these are clogged, then of course these chambers are going to get stuck full of water and it just won't spray. If some jets are spraying and other jets are not spraying at all, like if this one sprays and this one does not, well, it's just a clogged valve or a clogged spray jet. But if none of them are spraying, I suppose it's possible they're all clogged at the same time. Probably not likely, but it is possible. So basically at that point, you pull the jets out, pull your trigger on the valve, and if you get water gushing out of both of these chambers here, then it's an issue with the actual jets. Some wands have check valves up inside here. This wand does not, but some of them will have extenders, you know, jet extenders with check valves inside them. Sometimes if those get installed upside down or if those get clogged, you know, that can be an issue. So outside of that, that's pretty much it. You know, it's in a nutshell, you're just trying to figure out, is it an issue with the wand? Is it an issue with the line? Is it an issue with the machine? Where are you not getting water and where are you getting water? And just keep moving away from the machine and towards your jets, checking each connection to see where the blockage is. If you do not get water here, but you do get water here, then it's either an issue with one of these crimps, maybe something stuck inside here, because obviously the hose has a certain size opening. When you stick the crimp on, that's going to go inside the hose and around the outside of the hose. I'll actually show you. Some people don't know what this looks like. Let's see. So this here, this is a hose crimp. If you're not sure what a hose crimp looks like. So when you're crimping a hose, this part goes inside the hose, this part goes outside of the hose, and then when you put it inside here, this is the crimper that we have. Let's try to get this on camera. I should do it with an actual hose in here. It's also a little hard with one hand. You can kind of see that there. So when you crimp it, of course, it just squeezes that part together. I'll push this back up through. And obviously it just pinches this. So it has, you know, the hose goes around this part here. So it could be something clogged inside this because of this. This is, of course, tighter than the actual inside of your hose. Let's see if I have a piece here. So if this is your opening, you know, that you may have gotten debris through that, but it may not fit. I'm trying to get my focus here. It may not fit through that. So just different areas that could be clogged, may not be clogged. If anybody has any questions, you know, of course, feel free to give me a shout. Not seeing any. So, well, hopefully this helped some guys. If you do have any questions, definitely reach out anytime. Again, Dave from Clean Pro Supply. Hope everybody has a great evening. Thanks.